Hey everybody, ChrilK here, welcome back to a new episode of Let's Play Quantum Break. We have traveled back to the year 2010. We're still at the same place before, but in a different time. And yeah, we now have to find this countermeasure device. And yeah, of course we also find a lot of text to read, so let's start with this here first to get us hooked up a little bit. Okay, from William Joyce, the countermeasure to Beth Wilder. Our Beth here. She already traveled back in time. She should be here at the same... in the same year. Let's see. Okay. Leaving the workshop now, the countermeasure is secure in my safe. I know better than to ask the reasoning behind this request. In 11 years, you've never been wrong, and I don't want to know about the future anyway. Okay, in 11 years, you've never been wrong, so she's already here since the very last time. But that won't make this easier for me to digest. Can we meet tomorrow? Now that the device is complete, I need to know what the next steps are. And please be careful with the countermeasure. It's tremendously powerful, and sourcing the chronon particles for it alone has taken over a decade. Rebuilding would take me years and years. To William Joyce from Beth Wilder. I'm now going to ask you to do something that will sound counterintuitive. Leave the workshop, leave the countermeasure behind, and do not return until tomorrow morning. As with all my orders, it is the best I don't go into further details. To Beth from William. It's finished. It's finally finished. Tests are all positive. I have officially constructed a working countermeasure for a fraction in time. I can't prove it, obviously, since there's no fracture to deploy it against, but I believe it will work. It has passed every test I can conceive. There is no reason that I can see that it wouldn't. Given your knowledge of the future, I'm guessing you already knew this would be the date I completed my work. This day has been a long time coming. I was beginning to doubt it was possible. I haven't heard from you in almost 2 years now. Please tell me you are still out there. Okay, what do we have here? The radio.
Hey, Bobby Radford coming at you on 4th of July. And what a fine day it is, too. Things are looking up for Riverport. Don't believe me? Just look at that shiny new Monarch building going up. That's a big deal for this town. Sure, I know there's been complaints, talking about how Monarch's tearing down this or that, taking over the mom and pop spots, making Riverport more corporate. Some of that's happening. It ain't all good. A huge corporation like that, you know, they're all about power and profit. But I say, hold on there. Put it in perspective. This town's been miserable for a long time. A long time. When our shipbuilding industry took that final nosedive, we hit one hell of a slump. A lot of people I know have been unemployed for years now, and that's hard. But Monarch's here. And they're starting to change that big time. So they ain't perfect. So what? It beats the alternative. I want to be optimistic about this. It ain't wrong to have a little hope for the future. I want to believe that this is capitalism working as intended, you know? The American way, you could say.
Okay. Somebody's knocking down there. Let's first have a further look around. Oh, here. What do we have here? Some paintings. Come on, climb up.
What's going on here? Since when did Will run a graffiti workshop? None of this crap was here in 2016.
Okay. There's a chronon source. Let's have a look down there. Seems like somebody is locked in there.
What the?
Yeah, what the?
Someone's in here.
Exactly. But let's first get the chronon source. Gotcha. Okay, now let's open the door. This would be really scary if this would have been here a horror game, but I think it won't be so scary to open this now. So let's be brave, let's do it. Yeah, let's also help with the shooting.
Beth? It's me. Hey. What happened to you?
This is it. There's no turning back. Jack? Dr. Emerald sent me to the future. I fought for months trying to find a way to get back. I wasn't the only one. Stop! I followed him back. He set William's machine to 1999. The first possible exit point.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
It's okay. Hey, it's okay. Ah, it's okay. I'm on your side.
Who are you?
I'm Beth Wilder. There's some things you need to know.
You're the reason he built the countermeasure. And you've been here ever since. 11 years. Why? Why didn't you come back?
We should get ready. We don't have much time.
She had changed. and there was a weight in her eyes. She was hiding something.
She always was. What exactly do you believe changed in Beth?
She lost hope.
Beth's journal, Back in Time. This is from 1999. Here I am, back in a time I've already lived once before. No idea how long I'll need to stay here. No idea what comes next. This isn't how it was supposed to go. This wasn't the plan. If I'm going to come to terms with that, then I'm going to need to write it all down. There's nobody to tell this to but myself. So, hello me, again. Oh, this is so extremely much text. This all started back in 2016. Jack and I kidnapped Dr. Emerald. We were supposed to use the time machine to travel back to 2010 and retrieve the countermeasure. I believe Dr. Emerald switched the date at the last moment. I heard Jack calling out, but it was too late. I was already inside. There was nothing to do but keep moving forward, and when I exited the corridor I arrived in the one place I never thought possible. The end of time. My greatest fear was realized. I'm still trying to grasp what that means. My entire life has been devoted to stopping the fracture. What I saw, was it proof that it couldn't be stopped? I can't believe that. There is a logic to all of this, a meaning. I just haven't found it yet. I'm not ready to write down details of the end of time. Not yet. The essential part of the story is that I found a way back. I spent a long time trying to fix William's machine, but somebody beat me to it. He set a course to the earliest time the machine could operate. The first time the core was activated. February 28th, 1999. I followed him through. Yeah, this was Paul Serene. And that's when I found William, still alive, much younger than I had ever seen him. I warned him about the fracture. I told him that he was the only one who could create a solution. He begged me not to tell him anything else about the future. He said he couldn't stand living like that, being constantly aware of what will come to pass, his every action just part of the preordained dance. I wanted to tell him more, but I know how he felt. William agreed to do what must be done. He agreed to build the countermeasure. The whole time was me who set him on that path. And the whole time it was me who set him on that path. He says the machine doesn't have the sufficient chronon capacity to return me to the future. He says a jump that far would be nearly impossible without a substantial scientific breakthrough. Apparently that hasn't happened yet. That's his way of saying I'm trapped in 1999, second time around. So here I am, July 19th, 1999. Time machine move, success. I worked with Will to get the time machine moved. Had to make sure Serene wouldn't be able to use it to his advantage. So we moved it to the one place I knew it would be safe, Bradbury's swimming pool. Will spent a big chunk of his research grant to buying the property. It's the one place I know for sure that Monarch won't find us. After all, they still weren't aware of it in 2016. That means this is my new home for the time being. Will refuses to build the countermeasure here. He says that it has to be done at his workshop. Yeah, his workshop was at Ground Zero. We already visited this place. He chose that location to build the time machine for a reason. Something about abnormal chronon density, anomalies, whatever. Didn't seem to concern him that the very people we need to hide from know about his workshop. Probably doesn't help that he won't tell him. What? Probably doesn't help that he won't let me tell him who those people actually are. Guy's almost as stubborn as his brother. Now that the movie is complete and Will is on his way, all I can do is wait. Not liking the idea of that. Keeping busy was the only thing that distracted me from the eerie nature of being trapped here. Guess I should look at the bright side. Second chance at having a killer Y2K party? September the 5th, 1999. Little me. The most surreal experience. Her eyes looked so full of life, looking to the clouds, invulnerable to the world around her. She looked full of life. She looked happy. It was me. I knew the day was coming. I knew that I had to go see her, set her on her mission, so that she would do what needed to be done. So that someday she would become, well, me. She was in the backyard, a bright red duffel coat, playing simple pleasure. It's strange, I remember the small details so differently the first time around. When I was a child, that woman who came to see me seemed like an angel, a limitless source of wisdom, gifting me with purpose. Now I was that woman, trembling, a lump in my stomach, nervous as hell. It didn't matter. I knew she was too young to see those things on my face. I gave her the notebook. I told a small child to give up those simple pleasures to pursue a life that would bring nothing but pain and hardship. I promised her that it would all be worth it, that she would make a difference, that she would save the world. She believed me. January the 1st, 2000. Epic Y2K party. Ate bagels with cream cheese and watched Buffy reruns in a drained swimming pool. Party on. September 11th, 2001. 9/11. I tried to stop it a second time. I warned them. Told them exactly what was going to happen. Nothing changed. I came to terms with the fact that none of this could be changed as a child, but since then I've seen things that make me desperate to prove myself wrong, desperate to believe that what I've seen cannot come to pass. I tried to stop the rise of Monarch. I tried to stop Paul Serene, both versions of him. Every action was negated by the force of a timeline that cannot be bent or broken. I've tried to stop tragedy as well. Jack's parents, Christmas of 1999. I knew what happened to them. This time I was there. Car crashed exactly as it was supposed to. My presence only led it to happen as it always did. I went to the funeral, watched Jack cry. I watched Will build up a wall around himself. I watched two brothers change forever in that moment, and I couldn't do nothing about it. And now this, fuck. May 22nd, 2002. Monarch. They spotted me near Williams' workshop. Barely got out of there alive. After all this time, Serene is still obsessed with finding me. He won't give up until he does. Have to be more careful in the future. May 22nd, 2003. The end of time. been having recurring nightmares about what I saw. I've been dreading doing this, but it's time. I have to write it out. It's the only way to move past it. In 2016 I entered the time machine, intending to travel back to 2010. That didn't happen. Dr. Emerald changed the date. When I exited the machine, I arrived at the end of time. The fracture had run its course. Time had stopped altogether. The entire world was frozen in one hanging moment. I was the only one still able to function. Or so I thought. Then the shifters came. I can still hear them. Their sounds echoed through my dreams. The entire world was still, except me. They really don't like movement. I'd stepped out of the machine into the one thing I spent my entire life trying to prevent. The fracture was never fixed. I was living through the proof. The first hours were the hardest. I was living through a nightmare that I couldn't wake up from, surrounded by constant reminders that my mission would fail, never able to stay in one place because the shifters were always searching, always hunting. I wasn't alone. I discovered the first evidence of this a few days in. I heard the shifters become agitated, but it was but I was now here near them. They were following somebody else, Paul Zareen, a younger Paul, scared, weak, vulnerable. He found me, tried to convince me that we needed to work together, to help each other through. He found out very quickly that I wanted him dead. He had no training, no killer instinct, but he had those damn powers, and all I had was the Chronon harness. The end of the world, the only two people left, and we became sworn enemies. I can't be sure how long we spent there. It could have been months, could have been years. When time doesn't move, it feels like an eternity. Our grip on reality slipped away, trapped in an endless loop of brutal survival. Though we were enemies, there was a strange bond formulated through that suffering. We've shared an experience that no other human has ever endured. Eventually, Paul managed to get William's time machine working. He was convinced that he needed to travel back to the earliest possible point in order to stop this all from happening. We had yet to learn that the past couldn't be changed. I followed him through the time machine, but he escaped. He formed Monarch, he built an empire. I watched the birth of a monster. I can't escape the feeling that my actions helped shape what he became. Maybe I could have guided him. Maybe if I hadn't tried to hunt him down and kill him at the end of time. Yeah, I could have guided him. Yeah, things happen again and again. That can't be my part in all of this. There has to be more. I wake up in a cold sweat most nights. I hear the shifters coming. I can almost feel their presence. Much of my experience at the end of time has become a blur in my memory. But there is one detail that I can't shake. One detail that brings my entire mission into question. One detail that haunts me. 2021, February. Okay, maybe this was in 2021. February the 3rd, 2005. Hobbies. 5 years until the countermeasure will be complete. I spent most of my days training. I don't know what happened once the device is finished, but being prepared is my specialty. I still wonder if ChrilK will follow the plan, if he'll emerge from that machine in 2010. Best, best not to think about it. I'm not giving up, but I can't let these thoughts consume me. I need to focus on the present, focus on what is in front of me. That's the mantra that keeps me going. Just focus on the present. So I decided to take on some hobbies. Tried poetry, got depressed, dabbled with the guitar for a while, smashed it against the wall. Then I started experimenting with graffiti. Seems to be working out okay for me so far. It's fulfilling on a few different levels, partly as a form of self-expression, partly as a means of release, partly just to fuck with people. What happens when Joe analyzes some graffiti on a wall one day, builds an interpretation in his head, and then 3 years later his depiction of that image comes true? Not sure, but it's fun to think about. I can't change anything, but at least this gives me the illusion of some kind of power. That illusion is what keeps me holding on. Sometimes I leave anonymous notes in people's mailboxes telling them what will happen next week. I watch their reactions from afar. Voyeurism and graffiti. That's my life these days. Focus on the present. October the 8th, 2007. Jack. I started watching him recently. I know Monarch is tracking him, so I keep my distance. I wasn't sure why I felt a need to follow him, to watch his life from the outside, but now I think I understand. I met Jack in the wake of his brother's death, the onset of the fracture. In the wake of his brother's death, the onset of the fracture. Yeah. Worst day of both of our lives. He was broken. That's the only Jack I ever knew. There is some kind of comfort in seeing him in happier times. I watched his band play a gig nearby. Atrociously bad. Whiny emo music. Definitely a music movement I didn't need to live through a second time. But there was something pure about seeing him up there, letting it all out. He never had an easy life. It was nice to see that he found a way to release all that. He just looked happy. It made me forget everything else. The nightmares stopped for a while after that. So I kept following him. It gave me something else to focus on. I've spent most of my life hiding who I am, what I know. I knew Jack for less than 24 hours, but he's the only person I've opened up to about everything. I told him the truth. He believed me. I wish I could thank him for that. I'm not sure what I'm going to tell him if he comes through that machine on July the 4th, 2010. What will he think when he sees me? 11 years will have passed. I look like I've aged 3 lifetimes since then. And for him it could only be a matter of minutes. What do I say? That I saw the end. That this might all be for nothing. I was the one who believed without question that we could stop the fracture, that confidence has now been replaced with insecurity, weakness. I fear letting him see that. I fear that he'll see the doubt in my eyes. For years I felt invincible, full of hope. I'm not that woman anymore. I'm scared. December 11th, 2007. Memory. Tonight I painted something at the university campus. It was only after I was finished and took a step back to look at it and to look at it that realized I've seen it before. Was finished and took a step back to look at it that realized I've seen it before about a decade ago. Remains of something painted on a wall but washed away. After I was finished. It was a jolt. Is all of this futile? Nothing sticks. Nothing has changed. All of it washed away by the river of time. Fucking time travel. July 9th, 2008. Will. I've been in contact with Will every 6 months or so. Short exchanges, just to get an update on his progress building the countermeasure. He's still at least 2 years away from completion, but he's now confident that he knows how the countermeasure will work. He told me that the countermeasure will be able to reverse a fracture in time, but in order to do so, it must be activated early in the escalation of the fracture. Once the fracture runs its course, once the end of time is reached, he believes the countermeasure will be rendered ineffective. I asked him what it would mean if the end of time ever occurred. He said it would mean that the fracture was never stopped. It would mean that we failed. July the 21st, 2008, everything I have done has been for nothing. July the 4th, 2010, final entry. The day is here. Soon I will receive word that William has completed the countermeasure. I'm sure of it. I've come to accept that this doesn't mean we will succeed. I've come to accept that my mission was a lie. But I'm not giving up. Lie or not, I devoted my life to this cause. It gave me meaning. It's all I've ever known. Even if I've seen the proof that it won't succeed, I'm not giving up. I will dedicate every ounce of courage I have left to seeing this through. I'll retrieve the countermeasure. I'll keep it safe until 2016. I will do everything in my power to activate it when the time comes. I will fail, but I will fail knowing that I did everything in my power to save the world. For years I hoped that this would be the day when I would see Jack again. I've given up that hope. This mission started with me alone. That's how it will end. This will be my final entry. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's move on. Here's something.
I can't do this anymore. I can't. I can't fucking do this. I can't do this anymore. I can't.
Okay, here's Beth. Let's first have a look here. Now the staircase is still active. Is still
What have we got here?
is still there. No, we have two. It was broken the last time we've been here. Here the windows are not crushed yet. So, what do we have here?
11 years.
$11, yes. Okay. Let's move on.
I'll unlock the door.
So where's Will? Where's the countermeasure?
The countermeasure's at William's workshop, where he built it.
Then that's where we go.
Yes. That was the plan.
Let's follow her.
Just have to unlock this.
Please do so.
My supplies are upstairs. We'll need to get them. There's so much you don't know that you never saw. I gave up on the idea that you would ever come.
Yes, I realized this. Ah, here, behind this. No, not here.
My things are in the cafeteria upstairs.
Is this thing here? Okay, there's something here behind this wall.
I need to know we're still in this together.
I told you once our fate is already laid out for us. I still believe that. More than ever. I'm just worried what that might mean.
It means we finish this.
Let's see if we can finish it.
You need gear? Take whatever you need. The rest of it's going in the river. Along with everything else I brought here.
That's a little drastic.
My time here is done, Jack. I have to erase my presence. Let me know when you're ready to go.
So many weapons. This is... Okay, what do we have here?
You followed Paul to 1999. Why did he travel so far back?
To form Monarch. Prepare for what's coming.
You kept tabs on him.
And he's kept tabs on me. Ready when you are, Jack.
Okay, let's read this first. Monarch formed, CEO never disclosed. Lucrative investments all based on Serene's future knowledge. This was in March 1999. August 2000, Monarch spotted following William Joyce. Monarch is following William throughout Riverport, no longer safe to keep in direct communication. May 2001, Martin Hatch hired. First listing of Martin Hatch as employee on employee chart. No details available on Hatch prior to this. This would be very interesting who this guy really is, because he seems to know more than also Paul Serene seems to know about Martin Hatch. Yeah. May 2002, Monarch patrolling workshop. Monarch spotted me near Will's workshop. Barely escaped alive, must avoid workshop area. August 2003, Monarch on Fortune 500. Well positioned on Fortune 500, investments have stopped, PR campaign has begun. February 2005, spotted by Monarch. Monarch still searching for me, must stay out of public eyes from this point forward. March 2006, R&D facility commissioned, Gull Island, must investigate further. October 2006, Martin Hatch promoted. Martin Hatch now designated Monarch spokesperson. Previous spokesperson found dead. Oh, okay. Every promotion Hatch receives results from a trial of blood. May 2008, Monarch Tower construction. Construction begins of Monarch Tower. December 2009, Monarch investigated Will's workshop. Monarch personnel spotted covertly entering Will's workshop. Okay, they may know what we're up to. Monarch security cameras now surround workshop. Approaching area will alert Serene. March 2010. Monarch Chronon Tech delayed. Monarch Chronon Tech research under Dr. Kim not proceeding as planned. Not enough Chronon particles available. Ground Zero not present. December 2010. Dr. Sophia Emerald recruited, hired as Chronon research scientist. Okay, what do we have here? Light machine gun. This here. Okay. Oh. Ah, this is the one we already had. Ah, come on. Yeah. Okay. Here's still something to read. Let's look at this here.
Okay. The countermeasures at Will's workshop. We find it, then what?
You bring it back here, use the machine, and return to the future. Use it to stop the fracture. That was always the plan.
That is still the plan.
Yes.
Indeed. Narrative object. And here... nothing else left. What do we have here? We can refill this here. Okay, Beth. Ready when you're ready. Let's go.
I can't imagine what happened to you. When you entered that machine, I wanted to go after you, but I didn't know where Sophia sent you or how to find you.
You made it here. It's all that matters. You followed the plan.
Whatever happened to you, change it.
Don't.
We can fix this.
Don't.
We can undo this.
You still don't get it. It can't be changed. No matter what we do, the pieces fall in all of the exact same places. I've tried. Over and over.
I can't just sit back and do nothing.
You have to let go. Jack. You have to let go. I've seen it. The end of time. That is where she sent me. I was there. I've been fighting this fight my entire life, and I saw us fail. I saw where this leads. I just don't know anymore. I don't know if we can win this thing.
Then we'll die finding out.
Okay guys, and I think this is the perfect moment for a break. Thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next episode of Let's Play Quantum Break. Have a good time and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.